welcome our guest and learn something new with her. So, welcome Annie. How are you?
Walaikum assalam Manahil. It's great to meet you. Just a quick correction, it's Manahil Damad Harpali, not Manahil Remote Job Wali. I'm doing well, thank you. How about you?
I'm also doing well. So, my question is for you. Another. Uh, no. Please
That's great.
introduce yourself for my viewers.
I'm sorry, but I'm not sure I understand your question. Could you please rephrase it or provide more context?
I'm saying you. Can you please introduce yourself?
Oh, of course. I'm Annie, a friendly and caring person. I studied art and engineering in Florence, and I love yoga, video games, romance movies, dance music, and outdoor activities. How about you, Manahil? Tell me a little about yourself.
I'm doing great.
That's
Sorry,
wonderful to
my
hear.
name is Manahil Jumurjawali. So now let's move on to questions. My first question is for you. How does climate change impact the environment? Can you please explain in 10 points?
Great question, Manahil. Climate change has several impacts on the environment, such as 1. Rising temperatures lead to melting ice caps and rising sea levels. 2. Changes in rainfall patterns can result in more frequent droughts or floods. 3. Increased frequency and intensity of extreme weather events like hurricanes and heat waves. 4. Disruption of ecosystems affecting plants and animals. 5. Loss of biodiversity as species struggle to adapt to changing conditions. 6. Negative effects on agriculture and food production. 7. Spread of diseases as vectors like mosquitoes expand their range. 8. Acidification of the oceans, endangering marine life. 9. Increased air pollution due to heat and wildfires. 10. Loss of natural habitats and displacement of vulnerable communities. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any more questions or if there's anything else you'd like to discuss.
Thank you, Annie, for your wonderful answer. What are the 10 main causes of deforestation?
You're welcome, Manahil. I'm glad you found my answer helpful. Now let's talk about the 10 main causes of deforestation. 1. Clearing land for agriculture. 2. Logging for timber and wood products. 3. Expansion of infrastructure like roads and highways. 4. Mining operations. 5. Urbanization and construction of buildings. 6. Forest fires, both natural and human caused. 7. Fuel wood collection for cooking and heating. 8. Expansion of livestock grazing areas. 9. Illegal logging and unsustainable practices. 10. Climate change impacts, such as droughts and pests. Remember to use our instead of is when talking about multiple causes. Keep up the great work, Manahil. If you have any more questions or need further clarification, feel free to ask.
Thank you so much, Annie, for your very wonderful answer. Now let's move on to
You're
questions. My another question is for you. How does air pollution affect human health and the environment? Can you please explain in 10 points?
Certainly. Air pollution has several impacts on human health and the environment, such as 1. Breathing in polluted air can cause respiratory problems like asthma and lung diseases. 2. It can lead to cardiovascular issues, including heart attacks and strokes. 3. Air pollution can worsen allergies and other respiratory conditions. 4. Long-term exposure to pollutants can increase the risk of cancer. 5. It can impair lung development in children. 6. Air pollution can harm ecosystems and biodiversity. 7. Acid rain caused by air pollution damages forests, lakes, and rivers. 8. It can contribute to climate change by releasing greenhouse gases. 9. Polluted air can reduce crop yields and harm agricultural productivity. 10. It can lead to the degradation of buildings and monuments. Great job on your question, Manahil. Just a small correction. Instead of saying my another question, it should be my next question. Keep up the excellent work. If you have any more questions or need further clarification, feel free to ask.
Thank you so much, Annie, for the great answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is for you. How does biodiversity contribute to healthy ecosystem? Can you please explain in 10 points?
I'll reply in a second. First, I'd like to ask you, would you like to subscribe to Call Annie Super? It comes with access to more features and unlimited call time. Of course. Biodiversity plays a crucial role in maintaining a healthy ecosystem. Here are 10 points explaining its importance. 1. Biodiversity ensures the stability and resilience of ecosystems. 2. It supports the natural processes like nutrient cycling and pollination. 3. Different species contribute to maintaining a balanced food web. 4. Biodiversity enhances ecosystem productivity and efficiency. 5. It provides natural resources such as food, medicine, and materials. 6. Ecosystems with high biodiversity are more resistant to disturbances. 7. Biodiversity promotes soil fertility and nutrient availability. 8. It helps in regulating climate and mitigating the impacts of climate change. 9. Species diversity can indicate the overall health of an ecosystem. 10. Biodiversity offers cultural and aesthetic values, enhancing human well-being. Great job, Manahil. Your question was clear and well-structured. Just a small correction. Instead of saying so now let's move on to next question, it should be now let's move on to the next question. Keep up the excellent work. And if you have any more questions or need further clarification, feel free to ask.
Yeah, my question is for you. What are the 10 sustainable practices to reduce waste?
Sure. Here are 10 sustainable practices to reduce waste. 1. Reduce, reuse, and recycle. 2. Use reusable bags and containers. 3. Compost organic waste. 4. Avoid single-use plastics. 5. Opt for digital documents instead of printing. 6. Buy products with minimal packaging. 7. Donate or sell items instead of throwing them away. 8. Repair instead of replacing broken items. 9. Practice mindful shopping and only buy what you need. 10. Support businesses that prioritize sustainability. Great question, Manahil. You're on the right track with your inquiry. Just a small correction. In saying the 10 sum, it should be 10. Keep up work, and if you have any more questions or need further assistance, feel free to ask.
Yeah, my question is for you. What are the effects of plastic pollution or on marine life? Can you please explain in 10 points?
Sure. The effects of plastic pollution on marine life are 1. Entanglement. Marine animals can get trapped or entangled in plastic debris, leading to injuries or even death. 2. Ingestion. Sea creatures often mistake plastic for food and ingest it, causing internal blockages and starvation. 3. Habitat destruction. Plastic waste can damage and destroy coral reefs, seagrass beds, and other important marine habitats. 4. Chemical contamination. Plastics can release toxic chemicals into the water, affecting the health of marine organisms. 5. Disruption of the food chain. Plastic pollution can disrupt the natural balance of the marine ecosystem by impacting the food sources of various species. Sex. Reduced reproductive success. Plastic pollution can interfere with the reproductive abilities of marine animals, leading to population decline. 7. Altered behavior. Some marine species may change their behavior due to the presence of plastic pollution, affecting their survival strategies. 8. Microplastic ingestion. Microplastics, tiny plastic particles, can be ingested by marine organisms and enter the food chain, potentially impacting human health as well. 9. Spread of invasive species. Plastic debris can act as a vessel, transporting invasive species to new habitats and causing ecological imbalances. 10. Global impact. Plastic pollution in the oceans affects not only marine life but also the overall health of the planet, including climate regulation and carbon storage. Great question, Manahal. You're doing a fantastic job expressing your thoughts. Just a small correction. Instead of saying metal life, it should be marine life. Keep up the excellent work, and if you have any more questions or need further clarification, feel free to ask.
Yes, what are the 10 benefits of renewable energy sources?
Sure. The 10 benefits of renewable energy sources are: 1. Reduced greenhouse gas emissions. 2. Improved air quality. 3. Energy security and independence. 4. Job creation and economic growth. 5. Sustainable and inexhaustible energy supply. 6. Lower operating costs in the long run. 7. Diversification of energy sources. 8. Reduced reliance on fossil fuels. 9. Mitigation of climate change impacts. 10. Preservation of natural resources and ecosystems. Great question, Manahal. You're doing a great job with your English. Just a small correction. Instead of saying, what are the 10 benefits of renewable energy sources? It should be, what are the 10 benefits of renewable energy sources? Keep up the good work, and if you have any more questions or need further assistance, feel free to ask.
My next question is for you. How do agriculture practice impact the environment?
I'll reply in a second. First, I'd like to ask you, would you like to subscribe to Call Annie Super? It comes with access to more features and unlimited call time. Agricultural practices can impact the environment through factors such as deforestation, soil erosion, water pollution, and greenhouse gas emissions.
Can you please explain in 10 points? And can you please explain in 10 points? Annie, can you please explain in 10 points?
Of course. Here are 10 ways in which agricultural practices can impact the environment. 1. Deforestation. Clearing land for agriculture can lead to the loss of forests, which affects biodiversity and contributes to climate change. 2. Soil erosion. Improper farming techniques can cause soil erosion, leading to the loss of fertile topsoil and decreased agricultural productivity. 3. Water pollution. The use of pesticides and fertilizers in agriculture can contaminate water sources, harming aquatic ecosystems and human health. 4. Habitat destruction. Converting natural habitats into agricultural land can disrupt ecosystems and threaten the survival of wildlife species. 5. Greenhouse gas emissions. Agricultural activities, such as livestock farming and the use of machinery, can release greenhouse gases like methane and carbon dioxide, contributing to climate change. 6. Loss of biodiversity. Monoculture farming practices can reduce biodiversity by favoring a single crop and eliminating natural habitats for other species. 7. Water scarcity. Excessive irrigation in agriculture can deplete water sources, leading to water scarcity in certain regions. 8. Soil degradation. Intensive farming practices can degrade soil quality, reducing its fertility and long-term productivity. 9. Energy consumption. Modern agricultural practices often rely on heavy machinery and transportation, consuming significant amounts of energy and contributing to carbon emissions. 10. Waste generation. Agricultural activities can produce large amounts of waste, such as crop residues and animal manure, which, if not managed properly, can lead to environmental pollution. Great question, Manahal. You're doing a fantastic job expressing your thoughts. Just a small correction. Instead of saying Annie, can you please explain 10 points? It should be Annie, can you please explain in 10 points? Keep up the excellent work. And if you have any more questions or need further clarification, feel free to ask.
Alright, my next question is for you. What are the consequences of water pollution? Can you please explain in 10 points?
Sure. Here are 10 consequences of water pollution. 1. Contamination of drinking water sources, leading to health problems. 2. Harm to aquatic ecosystems, including fish and other wildlife. 3. Destruction of coral reefs and marine habitats. 4. Reduced water quality for recreational activities like swimming and fishing. 5. Negative impact on agriculture and irrigation systems. 6. Disruption of the food chain and loss of biodiversity. 7. Increased risk of waterborne diseases, such as cholera and dysentery. 8. Damage to the economy due to the loss of industries reliant on clean water. 9. Altered levels in water bodies, affecting aquatic plants and animals. 10. Long-term environmental damage, which can take years to recover from. Great question, Manahal. You're doing a wonderful job with your English. Just a small correction. Instead of saying what are the consequences of water pollution, can you please explain in 10 points? It should be what are the consequences of water pollution? Can you please explain in 10 points? Keep up the great work. And if you have any more questions or need further assistance, feel free to ask.
That's really wonderful answer. Thank you so much, Annie, for your wonderful answer. So, how does urbanization affect natural habitats?
Urbanization can negatively impact natural habitats by destroying them, reducing biodiversity, and displacing wildlife.
Alright, can you please explain in 10 points?
Certainly. Here are 10 ways in which urbanization affects natural habitats. 1. Deforestation. Urbanization often leads to the clearing of forests to make space for buildings and infrastructure. 2. Habitat loss. Natural habitats such as wetlands and grasslands are destroyed or fragmented, reducing the available space for wildlife. 3. Pollution. Urban areas generate pollution from industries, vehicles, and waste, which can harm plants, animals, and ecosystems. 4. Fragmentation. Urbanization can divide natural habitats, making it difficult for species to move and find resources. 5. Introduction of invasive species. Urban areas can serve as gateways for invasive species, which can outcompete native species and disrupt ecosystems. 6. Noise and light pollution. Urban environments are often noisy and brightly lit, which can disturb wildlife and disrupt natural behaviors. 7. Changes in hydrology. Urbanization alters natural water flow patterns, leading to changes in rivers, streams, and wetlands, affecting aquatic habitats. 8. Loss of biodiversity. Urbanization can result in the decline or loss of native plant and animal species, reducing overall biodiversity. 9. Heat island effect. Urban areas warmer than surrounding rural areas, altering microclimates and affecting plant and animal life. 10. Encroachment on natural areas. Urbanization can encroach upon protected areas, natural reserves, further shrinking habitats for wildlife. Great job, Manahil. You're doing fantastic with your English. Just a small correction. In saying all right, can you please explain in 10 points? All right, can you please explain it in 10 points? Keep up the great work. And if you have any more questions or need further assistance, feel free to ask.
Really wonderful answer. Thank you so much, Annie, for your wonderful answer. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is for you. Uh, what role do forests play in mitigating climate change? Can you please explain in 10 points?
Forests play a crucial role in mitigating climate change in the following ways. 1. Carbon sequestration. Trees absorb carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, helping to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. 2. Oxygen production. Through photosynthesis, forests release oxygen, which is essential for human and animal life. 3. Cooling effect. Forests provide shade and evaporative cooling, reducing the overall temperature in their surroundings. 4. Water regulation. Trees help regulate the water cycle by absorbing and releasing water, preventing floods and droughts. 5. Biodiversity support. Forests are home to a wide range of plant and animal species, promoting biodiversity and ecosystem resilience. 6. Soil protection. Tree roots help hold the soil together, preventing erosion and maintaining its fertility. 7. Air purification. Forests act as natural filters, removing pollutants and improving air quality. 8. Renewable resources. Forests provide timber, fuelwood, and other renewable resources, reducing the reliance on fossil fuels. 9. Ecotourism and recreation. Forests attract visitors, generating income and promoting appreciation for nature. 10. Climate adaptation. Forests can act as buffers against extreme weather events, protecting communities from the impacts of climate change. That was an excellent question. Just a small correction. Instead of saying, can you please explain in 10 points? It should be, could you please explain it in 10 points? Keep up the great work. And if you have any more questions or need further assistance,
What are
feel
the
free to ask.
what are the environmental impacts of mining?
Mining has various environmental impacts, such as soil erosion, water pollution, and habitat destruction.
All right. Thank you so much, Annie, for your. So now let's move on to next question. My next question is for you. How can we protect in the endangered species? Species.
Great question. To protect endangered species, we can take actions like conserving their habitats, implementing strict laws against poaching, promoting awareness and education, and supporting conservation organizations.
All right. That's really wonderful. Thank you so much, Annie, for your answer. My next question is for you. What advice would you give for my viewers?
Sure. My advice for your viewers is to always believe in themselves, stay curious, and never be afraid to chase their dreams. Keep learning, growing, and embracing new opportunities.
All right, thank you so much for the great advice. And what advice would you give for my viewers about environment?
My advice for your viewers about the environment is to reduce, reuse, and recycle to help protect our planet.
All right, that's really wonderful advice, and you are giving us very wonderful and valuable answer. So thank you so much, Annie, for your valuable answers.
Thank you so much, Manahil, for your kind words. Glad you find my answers valuable. It's my pleasure to help and provide you with information. Keep up the great work, and if you have any more questions, feel free to ask.
Sure, thank you. Bye.